This episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by Factor Meals. Fresh cooked meals at your doorstep for as little as $11 a meal. That's cheaper than pulling up to the McDonald's drive-thru, baby. Go to factormeals.com/runitback50. Use the promo code runitback50 for 50% off your first box.
Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
I don't know what the Sixers are going to do, man. We got to hope that Tyrese Maxey turns into a superstar in one off season.
If that's the case, like, say James leave, you said there's no backup plan. Would y'all just be enticed to give him the max? Because look, at the end of the day, I mean, you guys want to contend with a guy like Joel Embiid. This guy who just won MVP, was second in MVP, the last 2 years. You want to win with him. You don't want a chance of losing an MVP kind of player. You just throw a max at James Harden to keep a guy like Joel Embiid.
Well, I think that might be the Sixers' front office's plan. I think their plan might have been to, blame it all on Doc Rivers. And, we weren't big Doc Rivers fans. I thought he lacked creativity. I thought his lineups were terrible. His just refusal to play anybody under the age of 25 was insane to me. Anytime the game was the biggest and mattered the most, he would always play like the 39-year-old veterans the whole game. And so I was ready for Doc to leave, but I don't think Doc Rivers fixes a lot of the issues. But I think the Sixers front office might try to sell it as that. They might be like, listen, let's get a new coach that's younger, today's more modern game style coach, defensive-minded coach, whatever it is. And let's retool the roster a little bit, move the Tobias Harris contract, what they've been trying to do for a couple years. And they can probably sell it to the fan base that, like, let's try again. Hopefully Joel Embiid is healthy. And if you get guys around Joel and Harden and Maxey that are more athletic, can rebound and run transition, like not 39-year-old PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, George Niang's out there running around. I mean, what this roster was so slow and unathletic, it blew my mind. So maybe they could look better with a retool and a new coach, and that's probably what the front office, that's probably one of their options. So if Harden wants to come back, I think Daryl Morey might have his hands tied, and he might feel like if I don't keep him, then I look like a fool right now because I gave up, the players and 2 firsts to bring him in here. That might be their plan. I don't think the Sixers fans are really having it, man. This is a city that, when they get fed up with a sports team, they completely stop going. So it might be like the Phillies a couple years ago where that arena was empty.
Is that how it was during the process?
Yeah. There was the top of this arena were like $3 during the process. You could get a ticket to a Sixers game for $3. There was times where they were giving tickets to like schools and other organizations to give away. Like they were giving away tickets. They were asking people to come to the games. Yeah, there was nothing there. And so there's that part of it too, because I don't think Sixers ownership wants to go back to that. They bought the team at that. They made a big profit. They probably don't want to go back, but it's seeming like it's becoming inevitable that they're going to go back because, it's hard to imagine them winning with this team, and doesn't seem to be a plan for a future.
Yeah, Rockets tickets are going for $2 now, so I hate you.
You're right there. You're right there. You're right there, man. Maybe Harden will. Let me know what you think about this. Maybe Harden will look at Houston like LeBron looked at Cleveland. So LeBron was in Cleveland, right? They couldn't put a team around him. He's like, look, I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach. I guess he did it in a classier way than James left Houston, but then he goes to Miami, wins for a couple years, and Cleveland's really bad, gets Kyrie Irving, gets a bunch of draft picks, and then he goes back to Cleveland. Him and Kyrie win a championship. So maybe Harden can look at it like that. He left Houston because they weren't going anywhere, and then he can come back, and there's a bunch of young guys now, so maybe he can look at it like that.
Yeah, the one thing that's different, really the two things that's different from the James and LeBron situation. Obviously, LeBron won his ring, so he felt content going home. But James, obviously, he didn't win a ring. But, James forced his way out, meaning, the Rockets were able to get those young assets. As for LeBron, just left in free agency.
That's true.
Left Cleveland, Turkey. So, James coming back, again, it's just like he just loves the city. That's where he spent most of his NBA career. Any professional athlete will tell you they just love the city of Houston. It's a great place to be. Texas has no income tax, more money. It's just there's a lot of benefits to being in the city of Houston itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the primary force of James wanting to come back again. His mom lives there. He's always there. During the season, between games, James is there. James will be in Houston and they'll have a game the next day. I don't even think that's really been reported like that. But that's how often he was out there. Like he was just in the cut.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure he's not tripping about coming back to the city. But as we've talked about before, like he might know that Sixers situation. As we discussed, yeah, they're kind of screwed if they don't re-sign me. So I'm gonna get the max out of y'all. That's probably where his line of thinking is. If he's not getting that, he's like, all right, well, cool. I'm gonna just go off to Houston.